Drink? Me? In here? Okay. Hello team, so today we're going to be showing you what's actually in my bags that I took to the Sahara Desert. There's no better way to start the video than with these absolute sweat magnets. What I'm about to show you are a pair of spoons, one from a lovely French lady called Natalie. Bonjour. After all those visits to the bush, hand sanitizer is a must. The Victorinox Explorer saved me more times than I can tell you. Here's one of the times it helped me stick my GoPro mount back on. A really cool German chef I met in Spain opened my French wine bottle with it.
I love the most.
Tweezers. You can even make it look like Darth Maul's lightsaber. These vents were an absolute saviour in the Moroccan desert. Sometimes it's too dark at night, so you need something to light your path. A 10mm wrench and a Sharpie for my signatures. This little screw stopped my GoPro falling into canyons. I'll be honest, I think that's a steri strip. So these were the Oxford Montreal 4.0 trousers. Just a quick interruption. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who helped make this journey possible. And for those of you that enjoy these videos, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know your thoughts, ideas, or even your own experiences in the comments below. Also, if you know someone who would enjoy this, share it with them. Alright, back to the video. Let's move on to the torso hugger. It has elbow and shoulder padding and an insert for back protection. If you love the sound of your thoughts for 8 hours a day, then I would highly recommend these 30 decibel attenuating ear molds from Ultimate Ear. So in case I fell off a mountain, I wanted my family to know where I was, so I brought this SOS Zoleo tracker. With the touch of a button, you can tell your family and friends exactly where you are and how you're doing. And though I didn't have to use the SOS button, I'm glad it was there just in case. I have a feeling you'll know what this might be for. Securing my GoPro on my helmet with these 3M sticky pads, that's also a 3D printed mount. So I just brought a ton of spares with me, which turned out to be the right decision. These little vents prevented my armpits from becoming Niagara Falls. Now we're going to move on to my brilliant portable kitchen. The next thing is this little gem here, which is a portable compact folded stove that I got from OEX. Little scrub daddy for all the cleaning tasks. Yes, that's actually its name. And this is the beautiful Portuguese flor de sal. Great for an electrolyte boost. Flint equals fire. Ah, my steamed stainless steel platter. I'm chuffed with this bit of kit. This is something my friends and I made by welding the handles of a Tesco basket on some corrugated metal. So now we have a little platform for our Decathlon steel pan. The handle folds and conveniently locks in place. And the handle of the saucepan was not locked in, so I spilled half my lentils. After cooking and washing, everything packs away in about 30 seconds. It's so convenient just to slip away back into the top box. When I'm away from home, my diet is quite sporadic, so I like to keep up the vitamins with things like Marmite, and this is a great source of B12. Washing my fruit in baking soda also removes all the pesticides. Wearing a helmet for 8 hours a day also means that I need to keep my skin supple, so I use jojoba oil. This lonesome Specsavers case protected the Insta360. Pink Himalayan sea salt for the electrolytes. Now we're moving on to staying clean. This convenient little travel bag is what I keep my soap bars in. The soap bars themselves are Dr. Bronner's All-One Magic Soap. I actually almost didn't buy this, but it turned out very useful in those nights where I couldn't find a toilet. Something that you can use to protect you and the inside of your helmet is this buff, and it's also sun protective. It's also a great bandana, though when I got to the desert, it was due an upgrade. This litam I got from a souk in Rasani near the Sahara Desert. Cheers Joe from DD Hammocks for sending out this cap. Picking out the right helmet actually took some time because I wanted to ensure it had the right ear protection. And this meant it needed to shield from the wind noise. So I ended up deciding on the Shoei NXR2. Even with the Rode lavalier mic wrapped around the inside, it was incredibly comfortable. The GoPro on the front sometimes weighed it down, but with the trouser insert underneath my neck, it actually propped the helmet back up again. The mic actually wraps around underneath the cushioning of the helmet, which is really convenient. These breathing vents are great for some extra ventilation as well. There's nothing worse than not being able to see where you're going, so this pin lock stops all the condensation, especially up in the mountains. This bag from Lomo is like the TARDIS, which you'll find out in a moment. It's waterproof as well. This saved my clothes from getting wet on the way to a Berber village in the High Atlas Mountains. All of these bits of fabric were helpful for carrying and attaching the bag to the bike itself. I needed some warm gloves for the summer climate, so these Revit ones did the job perfectly. Now for the best bit of gear. What you see here is a Berber burnoose. What is that, do you ask? That's something really, really cool. So without making you too jealous, we're going to move on, if you don't mind. Plugs are quite hard to come by in a forest, but these two adapters from Australia and Bangkok helped me plug in when I needed to. The one from Australia even has an interchangeable plug head. This one from Bangkok has all the plug heads built into it. And here is the European plug head that slides on. These compartments are brilliant because they have this little compaction zip which allows you to pack everything in tightly. So after decompressing that, I can get my fried egg boxes out. Make sure you guys are getting your 5 eggs in a day. And for those bright early mornings in the tent wild camping, or if you find the perfect bus stop to camp in on top of a Portuguese mountain. And this is how easy it is to compress the bag after you're finished. I only needed 2 of these bags to pack all of the clothes that I took with me. Now we're going to get into the camping gear. The tent could fit everything inside it. Well, almost everything. Harriet had to sit outside. Deciding on a comfortable sleeping mat took me weeks, and I ended up going with a big Agnes Rapide SL, and it is beautiful. In case I was stranded in any mountains on the way, I got this compact down coat, as well as this down sleeping bag, which actually compacts even further. This is only an ultralight 10-degree one, and to be honest with you, it was perfect in the conditions I was using it in. Originally, I thought, what if I needed to swim somewhere and protect all of my precious gear? But that never happened, so I started using this bag as a laundry bag. It's great because you can take all of the air out of it with this nozzle and then fit it into the other bag. Sometimes when I can't get adequate food, I want to make sure all of my electrolytes are replenished, so I use these ketosis tablets. I actually want you guys to guess down in the comments below what is in this jar. There are 3 different things, and it's my best souvenir. I bet no one can guess what was in it beforehand. All in all, I ended up finishing the trip with 4 pairs of gloves. One of them was a gift. These leather ones were perfect over the Revits before a French nobleman gifted me his Alpine stars. DD Hammocks also sent out this 3x3 tarp, and the great thing about this is that it's SPF 50, so it protects you from the sun. I decided to set mine up next to this cool looking lake somewhere in France. Thanks again, Joe, for sending these things out. I just want to clarify this isn't a paid advertisement. I just really like their gear. Some jeans to keep the legs warm. Usage count 2. Something that adds another layer of warmth and protection inside the sleeping bag was this silk liner. It packs down to nothing and it's incredibly homely. These poles are great for when you don't have anything to tie your tarp to. Another great multi-tool. So this is actually a torch that I wrapped duct tape around, and it can be used as a baton as well. This excess duct tape came in very handy. Cable ties. The only time this was useful was my first day in France. I didn't use this charger any other time this trip, so I recommend not taking that. Decathlon's finest closed cell foam pad. I often found myself only using this as it's very comfortable on its own. The pillow was so well hidden that I actually forgot to film it, so here it is, tucked away in a Decathlon mug. And that was the 40-litre Lomo TARDIS bag. This bag accumulated quite a few holes from where the bike had fallen over. Here's a little bit of mitigation. This is the Mir Search and Rescue Pack. What's inside, I hear you ask? Tourniquet, glow stick, glue, cocodamol, antiemetics that stop you vomiting, an oropharyngeal tube, some surgical tape, and a bandage. There is actually a lot more in this bag. It's very comprehensive, and you can find a link to it in the description. An award to the skinniest bum bag goes to Decathlon. My cards would slot in the front, so there was my Monzo. I would also hold some cash in here as well. Here's a spare photo of my passport, just in case. And here is my passport itself, kept in a waterproof sleeve. I also have the G-Hic and my European driving licenses. Behind this, I'd keep the V5C, which is my motorbike documentation. This all slips away snugly in the back and stays close to me by my belt. Now for the bag securers. Bungees are great at holding everything together. And the same can be said for this net that I was gifted in Casablanca. To stop anyone from slashing the bags and ripping them off, I use this PackSafe 85 litre mesh. A convenient padlock can secure it all together as well. So this is my single spare tyre that I actually kept an inner tube in. I heard tyres were a hot commodity in Morocco, so I decided to bring this one. Here's my gun case, which is why it's quite a procedure to get into. I don't actually own a gun. This is my journal, my charger, and these are my SD cards. I ended up going through 4 of these, and underneath those we have the computer. This allowed me to do all my data transfer and work whilst I was away. The inside is put together from 4 foam inserts that I cut to shape. I wanted to make sure that I could get around in comfort, so I brought my Ultra Lone Peak 6s. These are flat base wide toe box shoes. These kryptonites are essentially dead weight because the bike was rarely out of my sight. I only used them twice. I didn't find myself using the poncho, but the waterproof trousers came in useful at night time when it was cold. Here's the real prize though. This is a 135 litre base camp duffel bag. So this was in case my bike broke down. I could stuff absolutely everything in here. This is the 25 litre waterproof Lomo bag, and it actually clips into the 40 litre one. It turned out to be the perfect size for my MSR Elixir 2, which can deconstruct in approximately 2 seconds. You never know when you might need to dry off, so here are 2 towels. There was also a spare microfiber towel, but I tried to limit its use because of the microplastics, though it did come in very handy. And these are the buckles that clip onto the 40 litre pack. The Anker 521 portable charger was fundamental. It has a car socket charger, a light, which also acts as an SOS, a power saver button which stops charging things once they're fully charged, and all the other USB ports that you need. My neighbour gifted me this tank bag, and at the front I kept my merino wool gloves. These did a good job of keeping me warm for the mountains. Having a clear plastic cover where the maps go made it really easy to see where I was going. This is a Harley Davidson plastic side stand mount that distributes the weight on soft surfaces. Here is how big the maps get when they're fully splayed. Here's also where I keep a secret stash of nose strips. This is what they look like on my face all the time, which turns out is great for tan lines. The main compartment is where I keep some of my gadgets. I have 2 of these chargers, a 10,000 and a 20,000 milliamp hour, and I taped both of them up. This is also where I hide my Insta360 when I'm not riding. I don't know if you guys have seen, but the new X5 has an interchangeable lens, which is really cool. It also has this ammo cartridge battery pack at the side. It's a cool bit of kit. These industrial strength laser glasses block blue light and help your body produce melatonin, which in turn makes you sleep better. And this stops skin cancer, though the zinc one is better. I honestly thought an umbrella was overkill, but it was recommended to me multiple times, and it did end up saving me. Here are some work gloves too. This is a funky hook carabiner that allows you to hang your bags up. I didn't use it on this trip, but I have used it before and it's very functional. Some 26 decibel attenuation earplugs from Earpiece HD and multiple charging leads. I actually slipped these hand warmers into my gloves and it kept me warm for the whole day. A fly blocking mosquito net used 0 times. So in Algeciras before Morocco, I actually sent my drone home, but this is my drone bag. And inside you'll find some batteries for my X3 as well as some additional micro SD cards. Another charging lead and one of those long life Enduro batteries for the GoPro. Though I must say I did use the portable charger for the whole time. DJI Mic 2. And some more earplugs. The same French dude that gave me the gloves let me shoot his shotgun, and this is a comb. Arm & Hammer seem to make pretty decent toothpaste, so I use that. And to make sure my tongue is clean, I use a tongue scraper. Yeah. The toothbrush also has this protector on the head to stop it from getting dirty in the bag. It's crazy the amount of gear I can just stuff into these bags and everything seems to just fit, like these pair of Oakley Holbrooks. Some more hand sanitizer, journal pens and a paperclip. Here's the not so secret stash of extra sun cream, as well as a GoPro creator light, which also flashes. This funky pen looking thing is actually a tyre pressure gauge, and it slips onto the valve just like a pump. We'll move on to another bag that was given to me by another neighbour, and I keep a lot of my tools hidden in here. Here's a cool looking siphon pump, which I never used. I had one puncture, and that was at home changing the rear wheel, so luckily I didn't need to use these on the trip.
Because I think that he...
Reinforced 6mm diameter spare fuel line, and some more tyre levers, but these were plastic. Park Tool has this fantastic mini vulcanising puncture repair kit. And here's the showstopper. This cool essential bit of kit carried all of my wrenches, my vice grip, the pliers, the screwdrivers, even a current tester. The beautiful thing is it just rolls away into nothing. And this here is what I like to call the bits and bobs box, which holds the rectifier, a spare spark plug, loads of different SKF wheel bearings, some Velcro tape, a mummified CDI unit. Let's see if that bloody does the job, eh? Woohoo! Yeah, I didn't lie about the bearings. This was 100% an overkill, but an extra oil filter. Loads of these snakehead cables. I think it's extra CDI wiring. Now, after playing this game for so long, you just become a pro at Tetris. This one brings back percussive maintenance memories. This would be the air filter. You can never have too many spark plugs. I like to call this box the miscellaneous mix and match. So we have some wire insulators, some connectors, some screws, and here is the carburetor. This is how the choke operates. It's time to move on to something that is definitely overkill. 1, 2, 3. All of these are inner tubes, and there's a spare one in my tyre. That's a duct taped blade, great for removing gasket. Also some split pins wrapped in hosing, followed by an inline filter replacement. The only time I used these bidirectional valves was as a stopper before the trip. And there are some more miscellaneous nuts and bolts. The non-return valve stops the fuel from refluxing back into the tank. Now we're on to the final Lomo bag. This pannier is larger because it doesn't need to fit over the exhaust. But what's inside? A spare gas canister. A 64-ounce, 1.9 litre Yeti Rambler straight from the Australian mines. The chug cap makes this super easy to drink from. I also brought along this 64-ounce Clean Canteen wide mouth, some spare aluminium arms for my auxiliary tank, and a load of bungees and netting to secure everything. This is the delightful invisible stick. It compresses down to the same size as the bike pump and weighs absolutely nil. The great thing about this hand pump is that it actually has a pressure gauge as well, so I can ensure that the tyres are at the right pressure. This fluctuates quite a lot in the different temperatures. Gasket sealant, which I didn't use. A hacksaw, which I did use. I issued a return on this pruning saw because I didn't think I'd need it, but I never ended up returning it, and it actually turned out incredibly useful.
C'est bon, ça roule.
It's okay. A gasket scraper, which was excellent at cleaning out my clutch. And the final two things in this mini care package were silicone grease and some steel cable ties, which came in very handy to tie my basket at the front of the bike. Some penetrating lube helped clean the sand straight off my chain. A little top up of the oil never goes amiss, so this is some 10W40 semi-synthetic, and that's for the Honda Cub. And this is the smallest bottle of WD-40 I could find, as well as some protective gloves. These were brilliant for fighting off all the bears and the wolves in the mountains. They even attach to your clothing with this convenient clipper. Duct tape had its fun little uses, and the electrical tape tied down the lavalier cable. This steel balling wire also allowed me to improvise some mechanics. Here are all the different size wrenches, as well as two socket adapters, a 3/8 to a quarter and a 3/8 to a half. The 3/8 to a half inch socket adapter was great for the 18mm spark plug socket. That was the 23mm headstock bearing socket. And this is just a functional extender. Let me know down in the comments if you'd find it useful to know the sizes to everything. And this is some patchwork tape for the exhaust. Some JB Weld epoxy, thread locker and metal epoxy putty. Next up is the cable management. The Honda Cub is semi-automatic, so I didn't need a clutch cable. Instead, I brought two throttle cables with me. Can you imagine going down the High Atlas without a front brake? Me either. So this is my front brake cable replacement, and these are the most colourful gaskets I've ever seen. So that wraps up the last bag. From watching me unpack what I took to the Sahara, I hope you can take some inspiration for your own adventures. If you're into somewhat minimalist travel, motorbike exploration, or just love a great story, hit subscribe so you don't miss the ride. Drop a comment if you've got gear suggestions, moto travel hacks, any questions, or stories of your own. I try to read them all. In the next episode, the journey begins. Wild camping, historical monuments, and the first breakdown. So see you there.
Bobby!
Copy! Boom.
Very ferocious.
Yeah. Salam alaikum.
1 kilo.
طيبة. شكرا.
Let's go.